We live.
Man.
We live. Oh,
We live, man.
we
Hey, shout
live.
out to everybody tonight that's out there, stressed and pressed.
Stressing.
You feel me? But hey, take it from a pessimist, man. Let's figure out ways to be a little optimistic, you know, and think about ways that you are highly favored and blessed instead of being stressed and pressed. You feel me? You got to protect your peace out here. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
You get lost in the sauce of what's going on with the old polls. You know what I'm saying? Your ass might get
Turn it down a little bit.
lost in the toll. You feel me? And that's worse than being lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Because that might be a house. You feel me?
Don't get lost.
Hey, shout out to Teacher though. Teacher, you got anything you want to say to the people, man?
Oh yeah. Definitely got to welcome my over 30 holistic expert from the Over 30 podcast. Tisha Marie is in the building. Go ahead.
Hey, Damo. Also, hey, Damo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You is there a way you can take the banner off? Because right now you're blocking Tisha's face because the banner is down over there.
Yeah, I got you.
We out here, man. Go to the YouTube page right now. You know what I'm saying? James Moore says Trump is winning. You feel me?
Is he? They must have just updated.
Man, hey, man, you got them TikTok trolls, man. You
Oh,
gotta
TikTok, yeah.
Feel me?
Yeah.
That's what you know what I mean.
Hey, we appreciate y'all. We give it time for everybody to come on in. We getting into these election results.
Yeah,
they got
man,
it at 192, 114. 192, 114. We treating it like the game, man. 192, 114.
192, 114.
Shout out to the homie Ben Kenobi. Return of the Jedi. Get it where you get your music. But we definitely getting it in tonight, man. We definitely getting it in.
Absolutely.
Hey,
what's up here from TikTok?
Hey, everybody from TikTok, shout out to Rachel Perez over there from TikTok. Shout out to my homie Egg, man, that boy Josh.
Shout out to the boy Egg. What's good with your boy?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Nico said CP time. You know how we get it in.
Yeah, Nico, don't. I mean, listen. Especially first of all, you know us. You know how we move. You CP people, CP time. Secondly, there's a lot of stuff moving and shaking. Every time we started to have a little grasp on the conversation, we was like, oh, what about this? What about that? So, it's things that are developing. We just like the news, baby. You know what I'm saying? We staying connected. You feel me? So we in here.
Yeah. If y'all come here from TikTok, make sure y'all do one thing. Go to the Chop Up Show and subscribe to the Chop Up Show on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We are broadcasting on Facebook Live, the Chop Up Show. We on the Chop Up Show on YouTube. And we are at the Conscious Lead on YouTube as well. You know what I mean? Joint venture type. Yeah. So actually, we can go ahead. Really start getting it in.
Jump right into it, man.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie. Definitely got to go ahead and get that pub. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But let me go ahead and get that banner back up in here so that everybody know what's good, what it is. This is the Chop Up Election Results Show. Now, to be clear, you know what I'm saying? Well, first, we should introduce ourselves. I am the political plug, Damo. You know what I'm saying? I'm here with my wonderful people. Y'all can't hear it, but let me stop that. I'm here with my wonderful people. Now, before I get into the people that y'all know, and if y'all don't know, I do have another podcast. It's called the Over 30 Podcast. And we have who I call the Over 30 Holistic Expert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She into the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Really into the knowledge. And that's Tisha Marie. Go ahead. Introduce yourself to the people. I introduced you. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up, people? I'm Tisha Marie from the Over 30 Podcast. Here with the Chop Up Show. Trying to chop it up with these people.
Yeah.
On this election day.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Yeah, getting it in, man. Because it's like
energy is strong. It's strong. It's been crazy today. I've been seeing like my neighborhood, all kinds of tags and hats, and it's crazy out here where I'm at. I had to lock my door early. I was like, let me get in the house.
That's how a lot of people is. They're not playing around tonight.
Yeah, she in Kansas too, so
get out the way.
Yeah, I'm up north by the airport too, so I'm like, by Liberty, Smithville, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing up there, but what literally is ain't nothing up there but space and
Yeah.
opportunity. So I'm happy you out the way.
Right. But
Yeah.
then we got the celebrities that y'all already know. Now the Over 30 podcast we air on YouTube and Facebook. Usually on these days on Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? We do the chop up on Monday, so we get it in. George Lee, go ahead and talk to the people though.
Hey man, y'all know it's George Lee, aka Consciously. Don't forget the Lee. GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com, man. Tonight we just want to really just give y'all some kind of overview about just what's going on, some of the major triumphs, you know what I'm saying, some of the trials and tribulations potentially that could happen.
Right.
As well as getting into really just y'all take, you know what I'm saying? We want to hear from y'all. We want to know what y'all thoughts, what y'all feelings is, particularly on this whole night. And not only this, reminding y'all, 2020 gonna be a little unique. So a lot of us should go on and prepare to go to sleep, not knowing the final results. You feel me? Like we should prepare mentally. That way you don't go to sleep, you know what I'm saying, stressed, impressed, and or just too discombobulated to even get you some peace. Because if you don't have no peace and go to sleep, then shit, you're gonna wake up in the morning all messed up anyway. So you got to be able to, you know what I'm saying, get you some rest. You know what I'm saying? But who are some with? I'm curious to, you know what I'm saying, what y'all talking about, what we getting into.
Y'all know we can't do nothing without the great Toya G. You know what I'm saying? That's who everybody want to hear from. And today, you know what I'm saying, she gonna be really on the ones and twos, bringing us the Twitter background, what Black Twitter talk about, because y'all know y'all get it cracking. What's good with you, Toya?
What's going on, everybody? It's Toya G. Just kind of vibing with y'all. I guess I should probably turn my news down. That way y'all don't hear too much in the background. If y'all anything like me, I got y'all different little stuff rolling and rocking, keeping you updated. But another day in the neighborhood, trying to at least make it that way. As much as we want to sensationalize this day, we got to make sure that, we move around and do what we got to do despite and regardless what's going down. So we talking about this, we centering this today, but we know that politics, as important it is not the centerfold, the centerpiece of how we live and we rock our lives. So, keep it all in context, keep it cute. I got some questions. Alicia, what do I know about and why do I need to guess the winning lotto numbers? What did I predict? In terms of where we can find the show, y'all make sure if y'all just getting hip to the chop up and how we move, y'all know we go live typically on Monday nights, but it's election night, so we jumped on a Tuesday, even though that's the night for the Over 30 podcast. We went ahead and shared it, so we just brought two worlds together for tonight. But typically the chop up show pops up every Monday night on YouTube and on Facebook, so y'all make sure y'all check it out. Subscribe now, don't wait. Subscribe now, don't wait to the end. You're gonna like it, you're gonna love it, so go ahead and stick around and subscribe to the show right now so y'all can stay connected. And then if y'all miss a show, don't trip, because the audio is going to be found wherever you get your podcast. So Apple Podcasts, Blog Talk Radio, Stitcher Radio. Y'all know we on Spotify. Y'all just go ahead and Google us and you will find the Chop Up Show. But make sure you stay locked in. Make sure you stay subscribed. Be like Rachel. Don't be different than Rachel. Be just like Rachel right now and go ahead and subscribe to it. Period.
Shout out to Rachel. Now, let's go ahead and get into the beauty of why we here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my shit. I love this. But let's get into this election. Now, first, I gotta ask, how much ever since the first poll started closing, how much have y'all been paying attention? Where y'all been getting y'all news from? Who y'all been peeping game? We can start with you, George. How much you been peeping game so far, and where you been staying up on it?
Man, so far, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I gotta make sure I get this disclaimer, because we're gonna be like, what the hell, consciously? Listen, I like on election night, I love to get my minute-to-minute news from Fox News. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, honestly, because I grew up so country southern, I really didn't learn that Fox News was like, you know what I'm saying, as biased and as anti-black as it is until I got to college, if you're being real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think this as a tradition. I just like, you feel me, watching it for Fox News. And shit, what I've learned from flipping through the channels, though, is that Fox News be calling theirs a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They be going with the projections a little bit earlier, you feel me? So right now they got the score at 207 to 148, you feel me? Biden is up. You know what I'm saying? Trump is losing, and we still waiting on a couple more states, a couple more quarters. You know what I'm saying? We looking at it in terms of football, or basketball, or some soccer or something. We still got a couple more quarters.
Soccer points don't go that high, so we're gonna stick to football and basketball.
Yeah,
right. Right.
Yeah. I like watching Fox News and SM. I like flipping between Fox News and MSNBC.
Okay. Look, keep it with a balance, Toya.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So in terms of where I get my news, how I get my news, I'm gonna go ahead and keep it a stack with you. I don't pay for cable. So that being said, I got a smart TV. I got a real nice smart TV. Shout out to Samsung. And that being said, they got a whole TV network and they have real channels and shit in the TV. So CBSN has been a cool little network that is already built into the TV. Is TV is this basically the CBS News Network. And it's all news all day. And so I've been staying up to date with everything from the Roni to the economy to the elections to tonight. You know what I'm saying? Everything I've been tapped in with CBSN. So I'm really kind of rocking with that as a network that I never really thought I would be into, but that I bang with. And another place that I get my news, that I depend on my news to come from, is twitter.com. If y'all know anything about Twitter, right here on the pop up, y'all know I'm coming to y'all with something about what Twitter said. But that's why I love it, because I can curate the messages I see, everything between the actual people living these processes, the journalists, the political analysts, the political scientists, the debaters, the people I know who kind of do this and is about this life, and put it right alongside my favorite nigga perspectives, my favorite queer perspectives, my favorite people I like hearing talking about the world around us, and kind of get it all at the same time with a whole bunch of different shades. So shout out to Twitter and shout out to CBS News Network for holding me down. That's where I've been getting my news from.
Shut up. I definitely, well, when I was just doing the smart TV joint, that's all I was watching too. Shout out to you, Tisha. How you been keeping up? What you been watching? Where your head been? Where you at?
You know, I'm like consciously. I do. I like the Fox News. It keeps me up there. I'm country too, so I'm from Arkansas. So I feel you when you said that. I feel you. But you know, honestly, social media as well. You know, I look at social media. It keep me updated. Obviously, it's a little biased, and obviously, you know, it can be confusing. But yeah, you know, sometimes I'm running around. I'm busy. I can get an update here and there if I'm not around a TV or whatever. So. Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like what we watch really is about, like, me. I can watch Fox News when you know I want to laugh, but when you know I'm taking something serious, I can't do it. And I think I got a little bit of anxiety with this. So, given what y'all been watching, where is y'all anxiety level at? Where is y'all, like, where y'all? I mean, nah, like, it's because, like, we like, for real. We doing this so that people, like, you don't gotta watch the talking heads. Well, I guess technically we talking heads right now, but you know what I'm saying? Like let's do some familiar family shit. So if there is any anxiety, you know what I'm saying, associated in terms of what y'all dealing with in the chat, my co-host, like, starting with Tisha, where your anxiety level at? Are you tripping off of it? You ain't really worried about it for real?
You
Where you at?
know, you know me, I'm chill. I'm not, I don't know. I don't have anxiety right now, but you know, obviously I do, you know, I do want it to go as peaceful as possible. Out here in the real world it's getting crazy. I've heard a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff today. Just a lot of angry and anxiety surrounding me. But you know me, I got my crystals. I got my tools.
Right now, Tisha is into the occult. She been reading the moon and the stars, so
Oh
like she's really
yeah,
not. She ain't really too much worried about what's happening. This worldly stuff, it's already been decided. So you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know why
Hey,
it took she
the
read the moon and the stars. I don't know why that laying it out like that touched me the way that it is. I think it's just you and your delivery of those facts.
Yeah,
But big fact, Joe, you got to be able to read the world from a bunch of different directions. So
yeah.
it's real.
That's why I fuck with Tisha though, cause she give me that. You know what I'm saying. I get that other shit. I get that. You know me. We all analytical and all that shit. She be bringing the nigga the spirit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying. Y'all ain't. It's new. It's different.
Hey,
And if y'all want to get y'all natal chart,
So
if y'all want to get y'all natal chart read, we do those at the Over 30 podcast, bi-monthly, twice. No, no, not bi-monthly. What is bi-weekly?
What is it, teacher? Because he don't know. He don't know.
We do it twice. We do it twice a month.
We try to do
Once
it
a month.
When we did it,
Once
we
a month.
trying to do two. We trying to
We
do two.
haven't. Yeah,
We trying to do two. We trying to do
it's
two.
mad.
But
It's once a month. So far, it's been once a month. But yeah.
so far, but
Okay.
Toya,
what's up?
Where is your anxiety? Where your head at?
First of all, shout out to Tisha. One more thing I heard: Mercury's out of microbraid or whatever we calling that. Amen for that transition. We moving
Retrograde.
that too.
Mercury retrograde, Mars in retrograde. Mars is aggression, so it's a very aggressive.
Is
It's a
Mars in
masculine
retrograde right now?
energy. Yes, Mars is retrograde and Mercury is in retrograde. So we
I
have two
heard Mercury
retrogrades
was on the
going
way out.
simultaneously. Yeah, Mercury. Today is the last day of Mercury retrograde, but still the energy is still, obviously when it goes direct, it's still giving that energy from the retrograde still. So we still feeling it, and also Mars on in until like the 14th. So that's very aggressive. It's an aggressive day. So when you think about that, you think about, anxiety can be at its all-time high.
For sure.
It'd be like that.
I mean, in terms of anxiety and how I'm dealing with it, and whether it's aligned with the stars or not, it's definitely there. I saw, a tweet that I retweeted a couple minutes ago that definitely speaks to where I'm at, and it says simply this: this is like being awake doing your own surgery. It's wild. I'm gonna run it back. This is like being awake during your own surgery. Like, you see blood, you see guts, you see a lot of shit that is uncertain. You see cutting happening, and because you're in the middle of the procedure and the process, it's really hard to interpret what's happening right now. It's hard to know whether the procedure is going good or going bad. You just know you're undergoing something very uncomfortable that you kind of would prefer to be asleep for. So I definitely am like, yeah, that sounds about right. Definitely, Lisi gave a solid kind of explanation. She says outwardly a 6, inwardly a 9.8. I think I'm trying to be cool. I'm very muchly a person that I gotta get all the boxes checked before I freak out. I really try to be that in control of my shit. And from being a sports fan, and I really had to learn this getting into sports and watching it. Like, why do the end of basketball games come down to these tedious foul, quick shots, foul, quick, and you like, why is the game ending like this? But that's because they sucking out the last possibility out the clock to see what it is before they call it good. And so
all the razzle dazzle.
You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. And I think that kind of attitude toward this has to be where I'm at, because I'm not overwhelmingly confident. I didn't think it was going to be no blue wave. I never bought into none of that. And so my anxiety is tempered by these mail-in ballots, by the fact that they told us it's going to be a long road and to calm our expectations. The fact that we compared numbers from all the different places we get our news, and everybody had different numbers for ballot counts, which means this is all up to interpretation anyway. All of that is keeping my vibe together at least enough so that I can be smooth. So that's where I'm at right now. Shout out to Nick Watts. What's good, bro? Definitely good to see you.
Shout out to boy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. Kind of holding steady.
And now, we're gonna get into we're gonna get into more. So look at some of the numbers. Look at where the election at is now. Remember, you're not gonna go to sleep knowing it's not gonna happen. You got some states that's not talking about nothing's gonna be confirmed until like Wednesday. Or Wednesday. That's tomorrow. I think Thursday.
I heard
different states. Yes, different states that happen different stipulations.
December.
Oh yeah, now people trying to be funny.
But
so right. What's more important is that, like, you know what I'm saying, the anxiety of people who face the existential threat of another Trump presidency. You know what I'm saying? Now, George, where you at as a pessimist? Where your mind at, brother?
Man,
also real quick, George. Also in the chat, like, let us know how y'all feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got 60-something people across the 3 different platforms. Let us know where y'all head is at. You know what I mean? Facebook, YouTube, both the YouTube pages. What are y'all thinking? You know what I mean? This is a community that has come together during this time of stress, and we want this to be an opportunity we can kind of like get that out. You feel me? Now while we wait for responses in the chat, go ahead, George. How you feeling, bro? I'm here for you.
Hey, man, I think that right now, I feel like just knowing that, being a pessimist, I know that regardless who wins the election, that there's still going to be a lot of Black death. You feel me? A lot of Black people being incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? A lot of indigenous people being messed over. A lot of trans and non-binary people still being, you know what I'm saying, marginalized and you feel me put on to all type of ways. You know what I'm saying? So I think that because I recognize that, I feel like I'm kind of like even minded. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hoping that Joe Biden wins. You feel me? But like I've been on the record for saying, I think Donald Trump is going to be able to razzle dazzle this thing on through and be Trump 2020 like that, like he's been saying since 2016. You know what I'm saying? So shit, we're gonna see what happens. According to Fox News right now, Donald Trump is still losing. You know what I'm saying? So
it's the road to 270, man. That's what it is. It's the road to 270. Quick
right
update.
Now, 223 to 148. Joe
Now
Biden.
I'm checking NBC.
Fox News.
I'm checking NBC. NBC is saying 192 to 114. What's CBS saying to you?
CBS, which is just CBS's news network. CBS is saying 175 to 111.
Okay, so everybody got a Biden with that with a little cushion.
Biden, definitely got some space. Well, do we still have to hear another perspective? Damo, how you feeling? Did you talk about your anxiety level and how you feeling?
Oh, my shit is through the roof. Like this is what this.
You been saying that too.
this is what this is for. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like this is what this is before. This is what this is for. Because it's like this is one of them things where if we keep in with the sports analogies, this is all fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, this first half is really about maintaining. You know what I'm saying? All of this is about the fourth quarter. And so, it's gonna be some day. We all gonna go to sleep anxious, but while my anxiety is kind of high, you know what I mean? I'm also familiar with how the process in the system is it's all really whiteness, and a lot of it is, as y'all know, I like to say political theater anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just like it's like sports. Like we know that really ain't got no real impact in it, but goddamn it, you invested in a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when the Warriors was winning all of them years while I was a LeBron hater, I didn't give a fuck about the Warriors. I just wanted them to beat LeBron. And that's really what's happening right now. Like I
says the Lakers fan. Says the Lakers fan.
What it is. Y'all know what it is. This is before. I mean, he came to my team, goddamn it. He came to my team.
So
I need a cigarette at this point.
Before we go down the sports tandem, the rabbit hole, I want to real quick jump out and talk about some of these comments only because a lot of people expressing some of the feelings that they feeling and kind of going through. I know they came here to get some relief in terms of where their heads are at. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So Nick, the homie, shout out to Nick. He agrees with me definitely, you know what I'm saying, that it's kind of hard to feel too heavy one way or another, but that is a real weird kind of feeling. You don't want to overinvest into, the sentiments of the emotions of the time. Control what you can control. We just gonna have to see. Jaleesa says nothing is wrong until it's wrong, so breathe. Let's see. Daryl says I'm not anxious, I'm more annoyed. Daryl, if you want to jump on, tell us why, what's annoying you about this election process right now. Tez, we're gonna get to whether or not we think riots are likely or not. That's always something we keep coming back to, so we're gonna talk about that. Nikki said I'm sad and scared. Chrome said I don't feel safe. Tell me why you don't feel safe. Where you at to where you don't feel safe, Chrome? What's going on?
I definitely want to hear more about that.
Yeah. Michael said not stressing, just hoping. I'm a pessimist too. So agreeing with Lee. Rachel says I'm so calm and not even focusing, trying to maintain. I'm more bothered about the pandemic. I'm a healthcare worker. That's my reality. Voting was just a duty, and I'm praying that people stay safe. That's really the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? Especially, people try to stay 6 feet apart, but if one of these turned into a spreader event, that's also going to be some bad news about something because, still people in close proximity. I heard a lot of voting places up in New York was not 6 feet apart in terms of the voting booths. Bryant says, I've come to realize that the Cheeto will probably win this election because I'm unsure if people did their due diligence and truly researching over their me search, as consciously says. So that's definitely, people looking outside of their front door, looking out of their front steps and really thinking about the larger implications of the decisions that they're making and what they're trying to do. I'm gonna read a couple more comments that we're gonna go ahead and get to the next little piece of this conversation. I think that's pretty much it. Tez, why we got you messed up, bro? What we do?
Nah, he shout out to Tez. The LeBron James comments.
Got it.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate the LeBron James comments. Yeah, niggas, if you know me, you know what it is.
Chrome said, wait, I asked the question real quick and I got a response and then we can definitely move on. First of all, what's up to Dwayne? Big love to you, bro. I asked Chrome where you was at to where you fearful of your life and your whole experience. You said North Carolina, me being black, people are so hostile. They're making the Trump flag like a Blacks Beware flag. And I know North Carolina is close, and as close as they are, that means they got to be thick in the atmosphere out up in that thing, just because of how it's moving on, in terms of the votes and stuff like that coming in. So big love to you, definitely. Hopefully you defending and protecting yourself, or staying in the crib, or doing what you got to do to stay away from all that commotion.
Also, if y'all do have, I do kind of consider myself a connoisseur on these questions of politics. So if y'all do have any questions in the chat, please feel free. Let me flex. Cousin Tez asked the question: do we worry about electoral votes or the popular vote? What we are is the votes that we're looking at is the popular vote. The idea is that the popular vote is that the electoral college is supposed to follow the popular vote, right? But because certain states have a bigger impact on the electoral college than other states, then you could win the popular vote by winning more people to vote for you out of, everybody that voted. But if you don't win the right states, and that's what Hillary Clinton ran into. She ran into an issue of winning the right states, something that Joe Biden definitely ain't dumb enough to fall victim to. Hopefully, we will see.
We'll see, man. Sometimes them Democrats, you feel me?
So yeah, but now since we got all that out the way, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the scoreboard right now. What it's looking like this current presidential election. I'll go ahead and share my screen so we can get a look at the current electoral results. Now, I will be relying on NBC News. I will not be corrupting my computer screen with Fox News
with no Fox
bullshit. Right?
Man,
with no Fox News bullshit.
You gonna ever talk about y'all source like that?
Yeah, nah, they got it. I'm gonna let them make it. You know what I'm saying? They people I care about. So it's love. You said what?
Take the Tez, the Tez Manor off Teacher Face.
Okay, yeah. Let me do that. Boom. Let me take the banner off her face totally. Show her some respect. So now we're looking at the current. We're looking at the race as it's popping off right now. The more, it's funny I'm using this word, more conservative NBC in terms of the tallying up the score is sitting at 192, 114 with Joe Biden with a nice little lead. Again, it's 270 to win, 232 electoral votes remaining. Now, if we look at the current states and how it's currently breaking down, of course, there really ain't been no surprises. Ultimately, we'll talk about what surprises are actually in store because they haven't really marked them off yet. Who they going over right now? Okay, I don't know who they're looking at right now. I think they going in Pennsylvania, but we're not gonna know about Pennsylvania till tomorrow.
Yeah.
But most definitely right.
But everything is so far following along party lines. You see a lot of the Midwest, not even a lot of, all of the Midwest, except for like Illinois. You know what I'm saying? Is currently going to Donald Trump. Now, like that more mid-eastern, you know what I'm saying? That's still to be decided. It'll be interesting to see Iowa, Minnesota. Biden is currently leading, but not too many surprises there. California, Washington, Oregon, all went to Biden. Colorado, New Mexico, Biden. Utah, Wyoming, Trump. Mm-hmm. Now, Arizona. Biden is leading in Arizona,
which is a beautiful situation.
Great situation. Lackawanna County. They're currently talking about Lackawanna County in Pennsylvania, and that's where the office is. Is Scranton, Pennsylvania. But Arizona, you know what I'm saying, which is a heavily red. Maricopa County is actually one of the more racist counties in Arizona. They had tent cities where they were really racially profiling people of Mexican, Latinx descent. You know what I'm saying? And so to see that there's been kind of like this shift occurring politically down there in Arizona, that's extremely interesting. That's big. Now I want to ask y'all this. Did y'all think at any way, shape, or form Florida or Georgia would go towards motherfucking Joe Biden? And let's throw Texas in there. Because Trump is currently leading in Texas. Now, Florida and Georgia, Trump got a little lead in, but all day they've been sitting here combing over them numbers as if they had a shot. As people with common sense, did you look at Florida, Georgia, and Texas as states that Joe Biden actually had the opportunity to win?
Hell no, to the down.
No, hell no, yeah.
Hell no, I didn't, man. I was not buying into none of that hype. You feel me? I'm born and raised in Texas. You know what I'm saying? And I just like nah, hell nah.
Yeah. What about Florida and Georgia though?
Especially not Texas.
Florida and Georgia got the same type of energy. You feel me? Florida and Georgia got the same type of energy, the same type of roots. And I think that I ain't got time for it. As a matter of fact, I recognize uniquely that Florida sometimes is seen as a swing state. But I think that Florida in Trump's America has uniquely been goddamn Trump, you know what I'm saying? Trump X, you feel me? Playing that Trump music. So it's like shit.
Trump
I was not seeing it. I ain't seen it personally, you feel me? I seen those southern states sticking to their loyalty. Listen, to me, I think that it's on gang type shit right now. Everybody strong their line, saying ain't no accountability, ain't no responsibility. It's like fuck them other niggas. I'm down with my niggas, and I don't care what they did. I'm riding with them. I don't care right or wrong, true or false. I'm riding with them. To me, I think that liberals is doing this, conservatives are doing this, and at this moment, it's like shit. Texas, Georgia, and the Florida. Stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, and I do want to point out, like some people are pointing out in the chat. Now, I'm currently using. I may need to update it. I'm on NBC, but you know they be a little bit more. They like to wait a little bit longer before they call states. I do see. I mean, you don't really see Florida or Georgia going to Trump at all. Like I don't even. Again, I don't even know why they even was wasting niggas' time talking about like even still holding out on that. Arizona. I would have had the same attitude. Currently, you see that they saying it's too early to call, but
they saying Nebraska might be flipped though. Trump might have flipped Nebraska.
Oh yeah, he got Nebraska. They already called Nebraska. Georgia, you see clearly. You know what I mean? Atlanta, it ain't enough niggas in Georgia to make a difference. It ain't enough. Like it's a lot of them there, but come on, bro. Like look at all these counties. He really didn't stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't stand a chance. And it's like we really sit up here having these conversations. But
I'm catching up to these comments, and this is I'm laughing at stuff. I'm peeping stuff. I actually got a question. Whenever we transition off where we are right now, I got a question for the people in the chat and for y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Google, Melvin. I'm gonna use Google.
I want to jump in. Can I jump in real quick? Or are we talking?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And this is a good question for Tisha, who is in Kansas, right? Me and Damo out in California. Lee, you out in Oklahoma right now. And then we got everybody across the United States popping up and representing the comments. So definitely, you got to make sure we know what y'all repping. But here's my question for y'all. Outside of the presidential debates, and I think it's because I saw the homie Rachel asking this question, talking about it a few minutes ago. What are some local issues? What's one local issue that's close to y'all that y'all like outside of this election? This is what I got to get in on the action for. And this is something that I voted for one way or another. Like I know Jersey just got weed, you know what I'm saying? They got marijuana legalized. They can sell it. They can have it. They can do whatever. I know we was talking about Oregon. Somebody got shrooms now, something like that. They up there trying to just really do the whole shebang.
They really trying to do the whole shebang. Who trying to do heroin? Who trying to do heroin? Oregon?
I think that's what Lee said. He seen something like that. So y'all jump in the comments real quick. Where y'all from? What's a local issue that y'all really care about? We got Maine in the building with Michael. What's popping?
Oregon is trying to. It was Oregon. Oregon is trying to. You feel me? Legalize heroin.
Okay.
Heroin. I can't say it right, but whatever.
Tisha, what's a local Kansas state or county? Maybe you in Wyandotte County or Johnson County. What's a local county or state issue that you got in on the action of this voting cycle that you really was passionate about?
For me, I'm coming from Johnson County. For me, honestly, it wasn't really anything local. I'm not like, for me, Johnson County was pretty, stuck to the
conservative,
yeah.
You know,
yeah. It ain't. So, it's a little different. It's a little different
like, a double. It was a double-edged sword. You would be fighting, uphill battle with them. So I kind of migrated away from there, but I just moved to my area. So.
Got you. Just handle that presidential business and kept it pushing.
Yeah, because it's like we out here we got a little bit more like progression going. You know what I'm saying? Like Kansas, a lot of their measures is a lot of the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean it's literally the same. It's pretty black and white.
Yeah. And so like for me, I think I would say out here what I thought was a big deal was the bail bail reform. They trying to get rid of bail out here in California. And so I mean when the funny thing about the ad that they use is they straight up saying like this Stanford rapist was out of jail that day, you know what I'm saying, because he was able to afford it. And you got a dude who was accused of stealing like some lawn equipment or some shit like that. And he was in jail for I think a year or so, or maybe even longer, just to see a judge. You know what I mean? And so, you know, that the idea that bail reform is actually something that's on the table out here and people are taking it serious, and more so attempting to focus on actually having like making those types of decisions based on, are you a threat? Because if you know what I'm saying, because if you're a threat and you got a bunch of money, bail should not be a benefit to you.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I mean? And so, you know, excuse me, I thought that was a big deal for me.
Got you. I know, Lee, I'm gonna ask you yours. I want to go to these comments and mix them in. Megan Freeman said prison reform is important. Megan, where you coming from? What you repping? What you got going on? In terms of what area that was. Jonathan said better pay and benefits for North Carolina teachers. Definitely hope that's something that goes through. The Lord knows our educators don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough. But amen for that. Crystal says solar and environmental issues. If you want to, Crystal, elaborate on that a little bit. You coming from Texas with that. Chantelja says similarly, North Carolina pay for teachers. California Prop 16 coming from Timatfa. In California Prop 16, if yes was going to use your racial, gender, etc. background as a factor for a job hire, and Prop 22 was for independent drivers. Prop 22, and here's something that was is misleading about Prop 22. It's not about independent drivers, although they have kind of been the spokespersons for this piece of legislation. It's not just drivers, but all independent contractors and how their money are seen. So gig workers, performers, people who are impersonators and stuff like that. The state of California is trying to figure out whether or not these people deserve to get hourly wages and paychecks and benefits and healthcare and stuff like that. And while that sounds great, I actually voted no against that proposition, because as much as all of those things sound great, you got to wonder and ask yourself why corporations are putting all this money into all of these ads and not taking care of or thinking about and approaching these conversations from paying people a sustainable wage and making sure they're solid outside of forcing stuff on people. Not everybody who's a driver for Uber or Lyft wants to have to be at work at a certain time, or to have to work 8 hours, or want to have to pay for health insurance or have to deal with those things. And so we got to kind of be sensitive to some of the drivers and independent gig workers' needs. So that was kind of my reasoning for that. Lee, is anything close to you happening on a local level that you ended up voting for and participating in that?
Yeah, and I just looked it up and got me a little update, and it didn't pass. Goddamn in Oklahoma, but pretty much it was a bill to modify felony sentencing that would make it where if a person is convicted of a non-violent crime, their past convictions of non-violent crimes cannot be used to kind of enhance the sentencing in a new non-violent crime they got. You know what I'm saying? And shit, no, Oklahoma voted no. You know what I'm saying?
Goodness.
Surprise.
Big old red state. Law and order.
Like, goddamn it, you're a criminal on there. But to me, I feel like this is the conservative contradiction in that. The same state that votes for Donald Trump is the same state that believe people shouldn't have second chances. And it's just like, you know how much speaking of bail money, you know how much money and how much chances has been afforded to Donald Trump as a result of his riches and finances. It's like, man, boy, that's, to me, it's kind of contradictory. Like, god damn, fam.
Kind of contradictory the whole way.
A couple other things, and then we got a gig worker here who actually jumped into the comments, so I'm going to get to that comment for sure. Michael says easier access to benefits for people who need it in the state of Maine. Last name McCullough. I ain't even gonna try the first name. Faweza. I wasn't even trying to be disrespectful. I just didn't want to get it wrong, but I'm gonna try it out. Faweza. McCullough said Rochester, New York, education is on the ballot up there. Let's see. Dylan says I'm a gig worker and I already have hours like that, so it already exists anyway. So they already, I'm guessing you already work within a way that is the majority of your wages. That's how you make your money. That's how you get your bottom line already. So which means it's possible without having to constrain people and take taxes and do certain things that you wouldn't do based on them being an independent contractor. Super D says, from Michigan, and our governor recently made a new law under the new law. Up to 3 felonies and an unlimited amount of misdemeanors could be expunged, but no more than 2 assaultive crimes. So apparently there is some ability for people to commit crimes and then redeem themselves in the eyes of the law and get certain things expunged and off their records. So that's pretty lit. Getting into all of these, keep them coming. Definitely continue to talk about y'all's local issues. We want to focus on that. Tisha, my question, I want to throw something back to you. I know you said you new to Johnson County. Johnson County is Kansas, but like the suburbs or whatever. What's something you want to see change? Bozaya, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Bozaya, what's something you want to see change in Johnson County? What's something you would like to see a referendum about on the ballot?
Well, I was saying I recently moved from Johnson County, so I'm now part of I live in North Kansas City. So.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
you up north. Yeah. You up north. Yeah.
I just recently moved from Johnson County. I was over there for about 7 years. It's basic. For me, personally, it was more of my union. I'm a railroad worker, and I know Trump was.
She's a conductor. She conducts a train.
Yeah,
no bullshit.
Conductor.
She conducts a train.
Train conductor. So you know, yeah.
I usually niggas is like, that's a dope job to niggas. It's like, yo, you a train conductor. That's lit.
Yeah. It's not something you hear every day at all.
So those union issues are big for you. Yeah.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot with the union, and we've been fighting for it to keep the union. Trump wanted to eradicate the union. We're here for the union. I love the union. I probably wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the union. So I mean, we've been fighting for that, and heck, we're still fighting for it. So that's one thing that I definitely want to see stay. I know a lot of people are not for the union, but
especially in Missouri and Kansas, because you in North Kansas City, so you in Missouri now. You ain't even. Both of them went to Trump, so like it's them been called. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is what that is. But when it comes to being in states like Toya and I have a little bit of we got a little bit of privilege. We in California. You know what I'm saying? We're too like outspoken. Yeah, I mean, black people in Cali. We doing good. George is in Oklahoma. Tisha in Missouri. You know what I mean? It's like these are just whole environments that politically the whole state is systematically geared towards some fuck shit.
Yeah.
like that's some shit you just can't
do it. Where I'm from.
Yeah, you just can't move around.
Hey, to be clear, I want to answer Crystal's question here on the Chop Up. We aren't consuming anything that has been legalized in the state of New Jersey recently on the show. That's an incense. So we vibe and the vibes is high, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We definitely not doing that on the camera. We being good, we behaving ourselves. But special relief is real.
She got the incense going. Y'all lucky she ain't pull out the sage. You feel me? Usually before we get the show cracking, she get the sage cracking. You know what I'm saying? Courtney K said we had same-sex marriage in Nevada, and the state board pardons commissioners meeting more often with majority vote winning despite the governor not being in the majority. So
hey, it is I say Courtney Cage. I went to school with somebody named Courtney Cage.
You might know her, you might not. Either way,
I say everybody.
Shout out
to oh, man.
Right. Hey, but we do got some good news to get into. We want to shout out damn, where'd she go? McBride.
Oh man, it's Fox News saying it's 204 to 223. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? He can close it in. He closing in. Trump is closing in.
Goodness, they're showing. They showing Nevada is still low. They only got 1% in. They got 1%. We ain't even speaking on that. That ain't shit. So we still waiting. We still waiting on that info. But McBride, I'm sorry, I can't think of her first name. She's the transgender senator.
From Delaware.
From Delaware.
Senator McBride. Congratulations.
Sarah McBride. Sarah McBride.
Congratulations.
Sarah McBride is the first transgender senator out of Delaware. She defeated Steve Washington.
The first transgender. That's what they should, because we don't know.
Well, yeah.
Also,
I guess you don't know. So, who else do you?
No, I was just saying. Also, we have to include that particular part.
That. Yes, openly transgender.
Yeah.
So shout out to Sarah McBride. She got that cracking. On the downside, though, are y'all familiar with QA9?
Slightly go ahead and break down what that is, though. For sure.
So if you don't know, QA9 is a conservative conspiracy group. They pushed a lot of what's called Pizzagate.
Conspiracy group.
Yeah. They pushed a lot of what's called Pizzagate, where they discussed pretty much pedophiles being at the bottom of Chuck E. Cheese's and that type of shit. But they really big Trump supporters, and they got them a Georgia House seat. So QA9 just got them their first politician. I don't really know her name because I don't really want to give her no static like that or no clout like that. But if you know anything about QA9 and you know what they represent and you know what they stand for, best believe they literally just got them their first politician. That just go to show you white supremacy could get you anything.
White supremacy
can get you anything because, like, literally, if you was like, for example, if you stood on like a Black Lives Matter platform in Georgia specifically, I mean, and really in a lot of places, but in Georgia specifically, it's no way in hell. Right? It's no way in hell because it's all types of shit associated with that. So for them to be running around like with literally anti-government message and still being placed in government positions, that shit is baffling to me. Like, white people don't care about undermining their own shit. They really don't.
Because they can. They have the privilege to do what the hell they want to do, how they want to, when they want to. And as long as they can justify, the OG Toya taught me when I first got into debate, it's not what you do or what you say, it's what can be justified. And then white supremacy is the master of being able to justify some wicked things.
I mean, yeah, and not just justify, but benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally benefit from it. The brother Jamie Harrison unfortunately lost to Lindsey Graham. Shout out to Jamie Harrison, man. Like, and this is the problem. You said what?
What state is that in?
That's South Carolina. Jamie Harrison in South Carolina. He was a brother that was challenging Lindsey Graham, a Trump sycophant, by the way. Anybody that know anything about the 2016 election knows the beef that Lindsey Graham and Donald Trump had, but yet he still kissed his ass. And somehow he kept his Senate seat. Even though Jamie Harrison did a wonderful job fundraising, it was a lot of money behind him. Oh shit. We got a call. Trump takes Ohio.
Oh.
Trump takes Ohio. Let's go ahead and show the joint.
204 to 223. I already had that on mine. See, I told you Fox News be knowing, man.
Nah, Fox News just be extra. But you didn't know why, though. You didn't know why. Ohio big, though. You didn't know why, though.
Yeah, because I ain't look at the map. That's all.
Yeah. You gotta look at the whole thing. Let me go ahead and refresh that. Oh damn! I
was gonna say I need to refresh my screen.
It look like right now Trump. Well, it look like what Joe Biden up by 19 and shit. It look like with the states that's right now how Fox News got it going. It got it where Trump gonna pass them up.
I wonder though, with these differences in numbers, does that mean people can't be getting this news at different times? I wonder if it is a question of how hard people are scrutinizing the data. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's just impossible that my numbers, because the numbers I have are still in the hundreds. And I definitely just saw, not Iowa, but where are we talking about? The state, Ohio.
Yeah.
So it's on commercial. I'm waiting for it to come back. But I wonder if that is a big difference. It's just how heavily they're scrutinizing some of this data.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a question of what they are trying to. It's a question of how early they call in some of these races. I think that's what it is. Because even like I'm looking at NBC is talking about Georgia right now, and they talking about it's still too early to call. With 78% in, and Donald Trump has a 10-point lead. A part of the reason why some of these are too early to call from from NBC's perspective is because it's a lot of votes still to be counted in the major metropolitan areas. Like for example, looking at Georgia right now, it's in the Atlanta and surrounding areas, the counties surrounding Atlanta. There is still a lot of votes that's in Fulton County, for example. Anybody who listen to rap music know about Fulton County. 49% in. 49% in, and Biden has a 70 is up 72 to 25%.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Let's see. Yeah. I'm in these comments real quick. Ethereal Beauty said, "Hey, yo, I'm in Ohio, and every main city is blue. The rest is red. I'm in Columbus. That's just like Kansas City and St. Louis. Oh, blue as hell, but the rest of that shit is about to be bright red every time." Christopher says, "New York Times still showing the 209, 118 with no Arizona, no Florida, no Texas. So everybody's things is gonna be different."
yeah.
Trump's campaign acknowledged that if he leads by the end of the night, Biden will be leading once mail-in votes are counted, and that's very, very important. A couple of things we have to keep in mind while we're talking these numbers, y'all, is mail-in ballots have not been processed in a lot of important and meaningful ways. There's literally a postmaster put out a demand for there to be post offices to be swept because of missing ballots in a couple of ballots in a few different places. So it's about to be a lot of turmoil, and this is not speaking to the long game, which is of course the Supreme Court, and we don't want it to get there. So just in the intermediate, it's still a lot of stuff unknown. The second thing that's unclear is a lot of these states is turning in information, but there are quite a few states that don't have to make it clear which ones they are reporting on. They started processing mail-in ballots, but they could be reporting on all the mail-in ballots that they process and getting that out the way, and not reporting on the live ballots, or vice versa. They can be reporting on the live ballots that have been cast today, but none of the mail-in ballots can have a reflection, or these numbers can be coming in concurrently. We don't really know how these numbers are coming in and how things are being kind of laid out. So all of these projections, and that's one question that I have, is why it's even fruitful to make these types of projections, knowing we only have such a small percentage of the picture. And so a lot of this data is missing, and most of the voting that happened in this country did happen via absentee ballots and mail-in ballots. It's kind of weird that we can even play this. It feels like a sick game to play when we don't even have most of the information. But shit, we here just trying to, take it and I guess decode it. They got to give the American people something.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm about to get into. I think that me thinking about that documentary I seen, the social experiment, you feel me? It's like right now we seeing kind of the ugly part of that. Because it's like all these networks, they have to feed us some type of information. They have to feed us some type of content. They have to feed us some type of content in a way that makes it where we don't want to, push away. You know what I'm saying? So they can sell our attention to the corporations to be able to throw them commercials in. And as a result, it's like they're not thinking about the end run either. Because in my mind, it's like, shit, if we looking at this right now, play for play, and we seeing all these numbers, I think that by Thursday morning we wake up and we still don't know who won, it's going to be able to create people like, well, I think it was a sham, or think it was a conspiracy, or think this, that, and the other, because on Tuesday night I went to sleep, but Biden was up this way or Trump was up this way. I think that it creates a bunch of chaos, but I think that chaos in the end is not really seen right now because they focusing more on the generating views, generating, ratings.
Viewership ratings up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's but I also feel like it really, who's going to win what? Like for example, NBC got them at 192 to 136. Who's going to win what is there are a lot of levels of hope and a prayer in that. I mean, like for example, I think with North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, I mean, I doubt the ability for Biden to have major chances in that. We do get a call with Joe Biden taking Virginia. So Joe Biden with a pretty decent lead. So Joe Biden does have Virginia, so that's going to add to his total. But I mean, I think ultimately what it came down to was it was what most people were talking about was whether or not Biden was going to get a state that made it impossible for Trump to win, or whether or not Trump was going to come out and just sweep a whole bunch of states that surprisingly wouldn't have a chance. Now it's currently at NBC is saying 206 to 135. Let me pull that back up just so we can see where we at with that right now. And then Google
too, just for y'all to know, because I've been telling people, because every time y'all seen put my phone out, I was talking to people on TikTok and or on Instagram, and I'm telling them when they come over, I'm engaging in the comment section. So if you randomly see comments, that's just me kind of getting our CNN, Fox News on, having a little ticker like this, getting people's thoughts.
Nah, we definitely want to hear from y'all. Really want to hear from y'all in terms of how y'all feeling. I mean, because again, we're not gonna know the results tonight. We're gonna go to sleep, still trying to figure out who's gonna be president. So, but in terms of how y'all feeling and what y'all want to know, I think really we want to be more of a resource in terms of kind of the conversation. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, I want y'all to choose us over NBC. They ain't got shit you want to hear. They really giving y'all a whole bunch of bullshit. That's why we always end up getting our hopes up about shit that we really shouldn't be getting our hopes up about. We really shouldn't be having conversations about, can Biden take Georgia? No, he cannot. Can Biden take Florida? No, he cannot. Can Biden take Texas?
The thing that's important to remember is that he doesn't have to, right? There are many paths to victory that are not contingent on Texas, on Florida, and on places. What's another state that we were talking about? Texas and Florida, and even Iowa, right?
Georgia.
So he doesn't. Georgia is the other state that I was talking about. He does not have to win those states in order to win. That is just those are the states that Trump had to win in order to
be
make
competitive.
He had a viable opportunity, a competitive opportunity for anything to be relevant. And I think it's important to note that he has already admitted that he knows the deed will not be done until we get into a lot of these mail-in votes. He expects that all of his supporters was going to show up today, as opposed to a whole lot more Democrats who apparently cast ballots before. Greg, to answer your question, at present, do we know who has the popular vote? The numbers we're seeing now, and this is what I kind of want to get into, is the numbers we're seeing now are the popular vote, right? The popular vote gets cast. Those votes then get translated over to the electors that are represented in the Electoral College, and we go from there. I think even we had a question from
the current vote count is sitting at Joe Biden at 58,980,469. Donald Trump is currently sitting at 48.6% at 57,611,224. So it's
a vote right now.
It's a million and change. It's a million and change.
Thinking about that documentary though, to me it seems that our country is becoming more polarized, where you see the popular vote is becoming more and more closer. You feel me? Man, and of course it's still early, like I said. Of course, a lot of those mail-in votes haven't, been put in. So I guess I might be speaking prematurely, but I'm just noticing that I feel like I feel like it's getting a lot more equally polarized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So Biden is projected to win Virginia. In Arizona, it looks like they're gonna flip that Arizona seat as well. What was her name? Kathy Gifford, the husband of Kathy Gifford. Checking on it. The husband of Kathy Gifford actually ran for her seat. She was the senator that was assaulted. She was shot in the face and survived. And so she Martha McSally is the Republican out of her mind. You know what I'm saying? So luckily, it looks like she's gonna lose her seat. So Democrats will be flipping that Arizona seat to blue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, George.
And too, I see Melvin had shout out to you, Melvin Jefferson, in the comment section. I seen that Fox News also has just given Hawaii to Joe Biden.
Yeah, that's just like 2 electoral votes, though. Ain't nobody worried about.
Real quick, speaking of electoral votes, was you still talking, George? My bad.
Oh no, we good. I was just repeating this 4 of them.
Speaking of electoral votes, Sade asked the question and break down the Electoral College real quick. I'll do it to the best of my capacity and extent, because it is a phrase that I feel like has or an institution that has gone to the backdrop of this presidential election, which is really weird considering how the last election played out when the popular vote didn't line up with the Electoral College. But also, too, it is something that you need to understand as a voter, especially when you think about how important it is to maybe vote based on the state that you're in. First and foremost, the Electoral College is made up of 500 and how much is it? 570? No, 543 votes, something like that. That represents all of the members of the Senate, all of the members of the House, and then there are 3 seats that remain to be filled, or votes that represent the Electoral College that represent DC, because DC is not a state. And so Puerto Rico doesn't get one, Guam doesn't get one, the Samoas don't get one, anything like that. But DC does get those 3 extra votes to represent them. Now, every year, the amount of vote, even though there are 543 Electoral College votes, how those are allocated changes over time. It changes every 10 years. And the way that those votes get allocated every 10 years is based on the census. So if you're wondering why everybody was pushing for the census, or why you've been hearing about the census a lot, or why Donald Trump's been arguing to end the census or start the census or whatever, a huge reason why is that the census numbers are what determine how much of the pie you get, how many Electoral College votes you get to be represented, right? So when you fill out a census, they say it's this many people over there, so they need to have, out of the pie of representation, this much representation in terms of how many votes are being reflected in that 573 or 543, whatever that number was, right? And so that's why they say do the census so that you can be represented, so that your state can get it.
538. So it says 538.
538. Thank y'all. Get my math right. I'm not a mathematologist. I teach communication studies.
What did you say? You're not a what?
I'm not a mathematologist. I'm not a math. I don't do mathematology. I don't do that. It's not my lane.
Clearly.
I'll explain why a lot of people believe and why the Electoral College has remained. So we have these electors, and based on that, this is where it gets kind of fuzzy for me, because the electors are not necessarily those senators or those representatives. They are random people.
Nobody knows who they are.
We don't know who the electors are, but they basically get told this was the popular vote. This is the vote you should go submit. And then from there, I think they get to make some decisions that are real shady about how they ultimately end up casting that vote. But tradition has it that they represent the votes of the populace, and that they submit the Electoral College vote on behalf of that. Now, there are 2 states, Nebraska and some other state. Again, I'm not a political scientist either. I do communication studies. But Nebraska and some other state are able to split some of those votes. In 48 of the 50 states, is winner take all. So like in California, if you win California, you get all 55. But in places like Nebraska and some other state, you can get pieces, like they can fraction out. How many weeks does it take to get a mathematology degree? 137. That's how long the program is. It's broken up into quarters and tristas and trimesters. Look into a program near you, Google it. But basically, Nebraska can split up and dice it up, and some other state can too.
Yeah.
People vote, and the way that they feel like it's representative and why the college is still in place is that they want people to have to politic to rural places. If we only leave the elections up to these big cities and to the popular vote that allows for political leaders to go and politician in LA and New York and Chicago and Houston and Dallas and Boston and places like that, and ignore all the rural places and their needs. So in order to have a better representative understanding of what the people want, they figured that using the census to then create representatives and create a voting system that had a popular vote that expressed how many people were in certain places was a more fair way than just leaving it up to happenstance and letting LA shut down the whole election or New York shut down the whole election. We can look at California and New York and see what can happen when you have highly populated places who all vote one way. Then you have everybody voting blue, and you don't hear from people in the middle of the map. That was my long ass explanation of the Electoral College. I hope it was helpful. I hope it did something for your life.
No, it was
that was on point.
There is probably debated. It's one that goes back and forth. However, there's not been enough contestation of its effectiveness to properly represent the mass populace of people in the United States for it to be overturned or manipulated. So it goes around and around and around every year. There are literally legislators and people on Capitol Hill who every year go around like, hey, let's talk about the Electoral College and shutting that shit down. And niggas is like, no. We're
Yeah, I
not.
mean, they talk about it often, but at the same time, I mean, this is something that benefits the more liberal mindset right now. But ultimately, the idea was that we have to steer away from the tyranny of the majority. And so it can't just be everybody, like more people said this person. I mean, with Donald Trump, that'll definitely be the benefit, but because a lot of people don't
Hey,
fuck with
I
dude.
might just put it mobocracy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want the mobocracy. And so in principle, the electoral college makes sense, but ultimately, when then you can figure out how to finesse it, right? When you can figure out how to finesse the system, and then just like, oh, I just need to make sure I campaign in these states. I don't need to talk to these
Yeah,
people.
I
I
thought
don't
not
need
to
to go
bring
there.
out the debate, but I think to me, I feel like the concept of popular sovereignty and it's supposed to be a republic democracy and shit like that. To me, it seemed like the whole electoral college thing, the like almost some of that George Orwellian doublespeak. It just
Yeah.
don't make sense. You feel me? It's like, why do we need? What you mean tyranny of the majority? You're talking about the majority that you empower with the popular sovereignty idea and the idea of democracy and the idea that every vote counts. It's like, hey, now.
Yeah.
All right, we got Melvin is hooking us up with some calls. Melvin said that they call in Minnesota right now. It ain't showing up. There we go. They said Biden is Minnesota. That's a key battleground state. That definitely Trump needed to sweep a lot of them Big Ten states in order to really get the advantage that he wanted. So Minnesota goes. Melvin said it was another call.
Yeah, Trump is what else. Let's see what else what he's doing. Because right now, Fox News is took him from 203 to 210. So let's see. He just won. They just gave him.
They're probably gonna give him Texas. They're gonna give him Georgia. And they're gonna give him Florida. If they already
They ain't gave him Georgia yet. They ain't gave him Georgia yet. They ain't gave
they
him
gave
Georgia.
him Georgia. Yeah, they probably that's probably well, they probably waiting on to see what happened in Fulton
It's
County. Because
called,
if Atlanta show up and then niggas really like, nah, we really don't fuck with Donald Trump, and then next thing you know, they take off. Like there's this like because it's a small enough gap to where it's like it could be a bump. I just don't think that Georgia gonna show that enough like show up that much to be like, all right, we give him that.
and I think this the part of the
Actually, we can take a look at it. Actually, we go look at a little deeper. We take a little deeper look at it. You know what
But
I'm saying?
I think that this the part of the show though where I feel like it's important for us to recognize like how the government operate and shit. Because it's like we know that gerrymandering and redistricting is so real in these southern states that we know like when it comes to specifically like Atlanta and the Atlanta metro shit, they probably didn't cut up and carved up so much of that metro into the smaller, you know what I'm saying, little pockets, outskirts of Georgia, and make it where I feel like a lot of the electoral college, you know what I'm saying, just get watered down. You feel me? I know that's pretty much what happens in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I want to point out real quick, Tanisha Bowens in his comments kind of dropping hella knowledge and gems just about a whole lot of things, starting off with the Electoral College. So if y'all are seeing these YouTube comments, definitely take it in. A quick breakdown about that. The Electoral College is made up of people who have economic and political affiliations with politicians, and the Electoral College was founded to keep power centralized in the ruling class. So really kind of breaking down some of the baggage of some of these systems that we exist in and kind of thrive in.
One thing that she pointed out is that that's specifically interesting is that really the only time you saw the popular vote go against that of the Electoral College is against Republicans, which kind of speaks to how Republicans uniquely have a relationship with white supremacy and white privilege that they constantly deny. But for whatever reason, when white privilege got to show up, they show up on the behalf on the for the advantage of Republicans. So shout out to Tanisha for that.
Hey, you're gonna ask a cool little question that I want to kind of get to in a second. What you say, Lee?
I was asking, did you want that back up?
Oh no, we good for right now.
Check out Johan's question real quick. Do any of you all feel that Biden will be proof enough that this generation could be the last or closing of that deep racist generation? Do you feel like this is a time?
No. Is a part of the deep racist generation. Like, regardless of who wins, and I'll let you get a t-shirt after this. Regardless of who wins, like that old racist generation win. Biden was cool with. I mean, vote for that nigga. Like, don't look. I'm hoping he win. But that nigga was a segregationist. Let's be for real. So, hey, somebody.
That's what I was gonna say. You just
go ahead. Speak to it.
Yeah, Tisha.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I think Biden literally appropriate Black people. He appropriated our culture just to get his votes. I don't think he's for us, but vote for him. But I don't think it's gonna end anything as far as like closing the gap on that. I don't think so at all.
Nah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Look like we just got another projection. And it looked like Joe Biden about to take his sleepy ass to sleep. Because he expected to speak soon. He expected to speak soon. It's like,
hey,
this ain't
don't ad him like that. Let that man.
Nah, ain't nobody worried about that. Listen,
man, you still gotta go.
he was still cool. I don't give a fuck about telling people to vote for that nigga. He was still cool with Strom Thurmond. That shit ain't cool. Like,
Yeah,
that nigga there, you know what I'm saying? That nigga, he ain't Obama, goddammit.
Melvin coming through with the updates. Let's see. Electoral college vote update. Trump 136, Biden 223.
Shout out to Melvin with the updates.
Hey, and that's from the actual Electoral college website or something? What website that's from, Melvin?
Google.
Yeah, let me see who Melvin
updated it.
Melvin, yeah, Melvin may be using Google. I'm using Google too. Let me go back and see. Yeah, 223, 136.
Yeah.
Hey, Fox News got it 227 and 210.
Hey, I'm gonna share this meme with y'all. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna let it play because I thought it was hilarious. Y'all can laugh with me. This say only person I trust to count the ballots, and then this is the meme.
Oh, I seen them.
43, 44, 45.
Damn, I'm not hip at all because I have no idea why that's funny.
Out.
41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46.
Is it a reason why he started at 44 or 42?
We don't know. I don't know why his videos came out of him counting and singing, but he a counting singing ass nigga, and so we support him here on the Chop Up.
Hold on, let's talk about this though real quick. How y'all feel about niggas that's actually been voted for Kanye?
Sorry.
How do y'all feel about niggas who've actually been voted for Kanye?
Sorry.
Clown. Hey, I want to say clowns, but I actually met somebody, you feel me? I got somebody I know that told me, man, I'm voting for Kanye. And it was like, they was dead serious. It was just like, yeah, I don't ever vote, man, but I'm voting for Kanye just because, it was just like, bro.
You voted for Kanye. And put it in the chat. How do y'all feel about niggas that vote for Kanye? It's like, yo, I mean, did he really take votes? So it ain't like a third party where like he seriously took votes, but I'm just like, y'all don't take y'all's future no type of serious at all. Like, I mean, to be real, voting for Kanye is literally the same. Voting for Kanye is literally the same as having Joe Biden produce your album. Yeah. Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
Ooh, hey, Melvin just came in with some numbers. Trump just took a jump. Where he take a jump from? 223, 145.
Melvin said Trump wins Iowa and Montana via AP.
Oh wow, Trump won Iowa, eh? That was one of them toss-up states, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
Yep.
It was. Let's take it. Let's refresh. Let's see what we looking like.
Dang, a waste of space and a disgrace to our Black ancestors. Like Wendy Williams said, they don't connect the dots. That's literally voting for Trump. Christopher says that they were voting for Kanye after graduation, I'd be less mad, but they're voting for him after Jesus is king. They're drinking mercury. I agree. Brian said, didn't Kanye get like 10,000 votes total, which is scary. I bet he got more than that though. I doubt it.
More than that.
Melodious said people that vote for Kanye are absolute doo-doo water, and I agree with that. Vote for Kanye is a vote for Trump. People literally threw their ballots away by voting for Ye. If I lived in a state like Oklahoma, I'd probably vote for Kanye as a joke, though. And that's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? In places where you already know what they're going to do, do what you want. I can't even converse with someone after learning they voted for Kanye. I wouldn't be able to either. Like, I would end up talking like this because I don't know what to say. I don't know what the next question. Like I got caught up trying to think about getting caught up talking to somebody who voted for Kanye, and that's how bad it is. Massage and S are always gonna vote for misogynist. Massage. Massage and S are always gonna vote for Assange.
Yeah, there you go. She fixed it. Yeah, go back.
Got it. Misogynist. I thought you was trying to be punny, and I didn't want to miss the pun, so I was really trying to give some time to that. But that's always gonna be bad business. Pretty girl CC said, I feel like that's something children in the younger community did, but some who felt like they didn't want to toe for Trump nor Biden wasted it for Kanye, and that's real. Like a lot of people do look at their vote, and I think that's something interesting to talk about. You know, what about the people who are not just careless, who not saying F it, who not trying to be funny, who not being Kanye stands, but their vote for Kanye really is an act of protest. Like I can fathom a world where when I don't think too hard about it critically, I can see why you like, I really do got to vote for these two white men and I'm sick of that shit. And maybe I live in Oklahoma or Missouri or Kansas or something like that. And so just symbolically, even though if this ain't the right nigga, he ain't gonna win. So it feels better in my spirit to go to bed knowing I voted for a black man to be the president of the United States. I can leave a little corner of space in my mind for people who fathom that, but they're not saying that. They're not being.
I ain't met nobody that's made that type of nuance and that type of.
I was about to say, it wasn't. I never heard that excuse given.
But it would suffice. It would suffice though.
See, I could be on some bullshit if I wanted to. I just am not willing. I refuse to think that hard about some old bullshit, and I encourage y'all to do the same.
Somebody said, Nico said, nah, fuck that. Kanye was black. Damn. I hope Cori Bush runs for president. I don't know who Cori Bush is.
Cori Bush is a black woman. I think she's a domestic violence abuse victim, a single parent, maybe somebody who really started tearing up the polls. I forget specifically where, but it's somebody who's up and coming. So shout out to Manaf for pointing that out. Hopefully we start to see the path and the patchwork for people like her. Ayanna Pressley got re-elected. We start to see a lot of these black women get the experience that
Ayanna Pressley, one of my favorites too.
That has become such a referendum for everybody but Donald Trump and the people he elevates. But I hope they get a chance to really go through some of the process that sets them up to be overly qualified to be president.
And let me say this. Oh shit, let me fix my let me say this. Shout out to all the 100 and something of y'all that's in here with us, rocking with us, man. Like we
definitely shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah,
getting y'all news from the Chop Up / Over 30 podcast.
Without a doubt, we are broadcasting across 3 platforms, and y'all showing up for. We coming together. You know what I mean? Like this is some weird shit. You feel me? Like we sitting up here really rooting for who is the worst of the white supremacists. You know what I mean? But ultimately it's like, hey, it's work that got to be done. What was you about to say, Toya?
Hey, shout out to Manav, and then somebody else in the comments said this is better than MSNBC, CNN, Fox, all the rest of the places they've been tapping into. They've been right here rocking with us. So shout out to you, Manav. Shout out to somebody else in the comments that said the same thing. That's big love, because we definitely was like, do people want to hear from us? One thing I'll be watching.
Definitely went back and forth and debated. Like, do we really want to go live tomorrow? Like, we already went live. Like,
yeah, definitely showing love and rocking with us. I wanted to talk about Astu's comment. Astu said, and this is Lee, I'm gonna toss this to you because you have been making some videos about this today. What about the people who say our ancestors died for voting rights? Because mine surely did not.
Shit. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Listen, man, I think that I can acknowledge the unique history of Fannie Lou Hamer and, you feel me, James Meredith, and, you feel me, Ida B. Wells. But I think that it trivializes their death and trivializes their pain and struggles, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to thinking about the shit they went through just to equate it to the vote. You feel me? Because in my mind, like, they were trying to assert their humanity, and some racist piece of shit thought that them exerting their humanity should result into them dying. Because I think that in that historical context, it's like black people were being murdered for any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was winking, whether it was walking on the sidewalk, whether it was being outside past dark, whether it was like, come on, that's like, to me, it's like literally the literal exertion of humanity. In my mind, it's the inner pessimist in me. It's like, listen, the presence of being black is enough.
Yeah.
Hey, can I pepper some on top of that real quick? We have to remember that today is also the 100-year anniversary of a literal massacre that happened behind the depravity of white people and their desire to not let black people cast a ballot to represent themselves. 100 years ago today, during Election Day in 1920, the single bloodiest day in modern American political history happened. The Osoe Massacre. A black man attempted to vote, and the Ku Klux Klan responded with a rampage that led to the exile and death of every black person that lived in Okosi. So I'm definitely hoping that y'all understand that this is not a day where we say, look at who gave their lives. Now, soldiers who sign up for war and who say these are decisions, and let's not get into the military-industrial complex and how they play people and how they fuck people over in that regard. That's a whole separate conversation, but at least you did sign the paper. These people signed up to vote, and literally, not only did that black man get killed,
everybody got killed.
Person there got their life taken away. And so I want us to think about and reflect on that when we talk about people who died for their rights. Now, they got killed by depraved animals who were not able to keep their animalistic tendencies in check long enough to not even just be mad at one person, but a whole race of people because of what they look like. That shit is...
Because to say it clearly, the ballot box didn't kill nobody. You feel me? The ballot box didn't kill nobody. The ballot box didn't shoot no bullets. I think that when we say that our ancestors died to vote, it literally takes the responsibility and accountability from the murderous, bloodthirsty people that literally took their lives away. And I think that equated to the mere voting, it's like, to me, it's like you create martyrism for folding our ancestors' pain and suffering back into this democracy thing that has justified a whole bunch of fuckery throughout American history. That definitely didn't acknowledge the pain and suffering of our ancestors then. And ain't no reason for this to try to make it where their pain and suffering is more legitimized.
Exactly.
Because it's like, nah, I think that's like pathology 101 almost.
And I also think that a part of the way, a part of how this whole, our ancestors died for us to vote conversation goes left is, no, they died for the right to vote.
Right.
The right.
Literally the assertion of humanity.
The option.
And not even, and that's not even what they died for, but that ultimately their life was taken because somebody felt like they shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So that's where that all that terminology is off, is because they wanted you to be able to say, if you want to support a motherfucker, you should be able to. That's ultimately what all of this shit is about. It's about being able to make a decision when you want to make that decision. And if you choose not to make that decision at all, you should be straight. That's literally your right to not do that shit. Right? Ain't about
means to an ends.
Yeah, like niggas, like I'm gonna be like niggas turn voting into a chore. Like, nah, you do it to produce a particular, because you advocating for a particular outcome, but there's no fucking argument to justify choosing between two white supremacists. It's not
one. I would say niggas turned it into a ancestral ritual. You feel me? Like a ritual that we have to do in order to honor our ancestors, and it's just like, come on, fam.
I think ritual is a perfect word. Would you go say something, Tisha?
Come again?
Oh no! I thought you was trying to. Chime in. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah. I thought you was trying to chime in. Did we speak to Mitch McConnell punk ass being reelected?
Nah, man. Cause for what?
I think that's the worst shit that happened tonight. I mean, and I think we all knew. Again, shout out to Jamie Harrison, man. Bro, it's just like Stacey Abrams. Like, y'all really fought an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? You really fighting an uphill battle. Like South Carolina, bro. Like in certain states, we just need to throw, as black people, we just need to throw away.
It's Kentucky too.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jamie Harrison in South Carolina and Mitch McConnell in Kentucky. Mitch McConnell is, you wouldn't have Donald Trump doing half the shit he did if it wasn't for devil ass Mitch McConnell. And let's not forget, Mitch McConnell was the nigga who said that he was gonna make it his job to turn Donald Trump into a one-term, or Barack Obama into a one-term president. And he failed at that. He failed. The one thing I say this too: Republicans don't give a fuck about not being able to do the shit that they say that they was gonna do. They don't care. Donald Trump said he was gonna build a wall. He didn't build no goddamn wall. Donald Trump said he was gonna repeal Obamacare. He didn't repeal shit. You know what I'm saying? And y'all still, and this is still a close race. Mitch McConnell said he was gonna make Obama. It was his job to make Obama a one-term president. He failed, and y'all still reelecting this nigga.
It's
Well, I
wild.
mean, it's because the people that's reelecting Mitch McConnell in Kentucky look just like his.
Hey man, white supremacy will always reward white mediocrity, man. I'm sorry. White supremacy will always reward white mediocrity. You feel me? You are able to get some exceptions. You are able to, you know what I'm saying, get the benefit of the doubt. You feel me? As a matter of fact, today I posted a video of a whole bunch of white people creating chaos around law enforcement. And one of these white men had the nerve to grab one of these law enforcement officers by the forearm.
I seen that.
And nobody feel for their life enough to grab a gun and shoot nobody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When I say the benefit of the doubt or making it where the same thing we can get chastised for being killed for not complying, this motherfucker told this law man to take your hands off of me. Are you evading arrest and not complying?
Yeah. Textbook.
What? So when Mitch McConnell was able to make promises and break them, and people are able to give them chances and chances and chances and chances and chances, like, man, we see that type of consistency that happens throughout the way that authority kind of orients itself to it, you know?
Factual.
Man, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these exit polls, though. Let me see. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry on y'all ass.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we only gonna be here for a little bit longer. How y'all feeling? I mean, because we really just kind of keep y'all company, so y'all don't lose y'all fucking mind out here trying to.
Hey, as of right now,
the nigga who's at the bottom of the second glass of whiskey. You losing your shit.
You said what?
I said it says a nigga who's at the bottom of a second glass of whiskey. I watched you. The second one. I was like, all right, hello? You going through it, brother? You coming?
Hey, I mean, like, yo, I'm gonna give it a buck. I've literally been plugged in for, like, you know, the political plug. You know, you gotta for like the Russia shit, the impeachment shit, the Kavanaugh shit, and it's just been white supremacy just winning time after time after time. God damn, I mean, I feel like, listen, like, white people as a whole, like, I'm up here giving, like, I mean, if we talking about giving white people any type of credit, if we gonna say, like, it's been any type of, y'all got any type of sense, it ain't no way in hell we should be dealing with, like, even, like, you know, election looking this close. Minnesota is leaning heavily towards Joe Biden right now. 76% in. Joe Biden is sitting at 55% versus 42%. So that's a good look for him. But ultimately, I'm just like, yo,
answer the Karen question. Karen, no, do not think Biden is going to be able to win Wisconsin. No.
No, I think he can. I think he can, because you know the votes that they waiting on, George.
With Milwaukee?
They for Wisconsin, they waiting on their mail-in ballots, bro. That's what they still
mail-in ballots, man. But you know,
but that's gonna be, because look, this is what happened, right? The mail-in ballots in Florida, they got them, and we're gonna get into these exit polls in just a second. The mail-in ballots in Florida. So if you was paying attention to the early poll closures, Biden had a huge lead with all the votes that were already counted based on, like, early votes, mail-in votes, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. It was when the in-person voting started to catch up with the mail-in and the early votes that Florida got out of reach. Donald Trump having such a large a lead, or not even a large lead, but having a lead at all early, before, like, as they're admitting that, we still got a bunch of like quite a few ballots that still need to be counted. That's a good look for Joe Biden, because that means that it's things that's still coming in, like, as long as it's, because the rule is that as long as it's post dated for today, because you got states that saying Wednesday and Thursday is when they'll officially be able to have results. As long as it's post dated for today, then people's ballots will still be counted. And what you see with these early voting and with these mail-in votes is that they're trending heavily towards Democrat. So what Trump is going to have to do is going to have to weather the storm of these of the votes that hadn't been counted with this early lead. So it's like, yeah, if you can win the first half, you can win the first and second quarter. You got to win the third and the fourth, though, in order to really get a. And so with Wisconsin, and so that's why they're not calling Wisconsin. They're not gonna call. Let me see, who else would they say they not?
Hey, man, I just think that gerrymandering and redlining and all that shit. See, the Wisconsinians, I don't know. I said Wisconsin people didn't learn great.
Wisconsin. You was trying to add 6 more syllables.
Wisconsin.
He said Wisconians.
Wisconsin citizens.
sometimes you can't blame him. You gotta be like, he from Bryan, Texas. If you've ever been to Bryan, Texas, I love George. Hold on,
They
George.
have learned greatly from us
George.
Southerners. And listen, they didn't redline that shit up. You feel me? I'm willing to, I got 20 dollars that say that Trump gonna get Wisconsin. 20
All right,
all.
man. I got your cash out, nigga.
Oh yeah, you got my cash app.
I got $20 on it. Fuck it, we gonna make it interesting.
Bet.
Does Trump win Wisconsin? I got $20 on it.
Y'all saying Trump was Florida, and it is a key battleground state, but it is not a key battleground state to the extent that it will knock Joe Biden out of the race, right? It is an essential state that Trump has to win in order to stay relevant, right? So it was a must win for Trump, but it was not a must win for Biden. Biden has other options to the path to the presidency that are not contingent on a lot of states that we were focusing on, but as people who want to get Trump out are not overly invested in winning. Those 3 states are Georgia, are Texas, and are Florida. So we are keeping our eyes on those places, right? But they are not make or break situations or scenarios. They look good for Donald Trump, but they do not necessarily establish a clear path to victory for him because he needs a whole lot more than just that. You should be focused on places like Pennsylvania still. You should still be focused on Arizona. You should definitely still be focused on what's another important place that we haven't really heard in the mix a whole lot. We still trying to get a solid, determined answer about Texas, and that's going to take a bit. Those are some places we need to be kind of focused on, but not necessarily those 3 states. So perspective is important, even though it is important to know that does help Donald Trump.
Facts. Let's take a look at these exit polls real quick though. Let me pull it up.
Wisconsinites. Ooh, I stand corrected, Vance. Shout out to Vance in the comments. Wisconsinites.
Wisconsin.
I thought it was Wisconsin's, but it's
Wisconsinites is their turn. Actually, shout out to the missus. My wife spent some time, and I actually spent a little bit of time in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. It's like about 40 minutes from Milwaukee. So shout out to the Oconomowocans.
Hey, shout out to the Native Americans that
I used to live in Madison,
their land and their tribes taken away, but at least we got cities and places named, states named after them. Shout out to indigenous folk for setting the tone for the United States, even when y'all don't get respect and credibility no other way.
Right. For the colonizers to use y'all name. And then shout out to the 100-some people that's in here, man, across our 3 platforms, bro. This is for real love. But when we get into these, when we get into the exit polls, though, when we take a look at it, males, 49% are going for Donald Trump. And this is based off 47% of the vote so far. 49% of them are going to Donald Trump, 48 to Joe Biden. So it's leaning a little bit towards the conservative. For women, 56% for Joe Biden, 43% for Donald Trump. So shout out to the women. Y'all clearly got more sense than these goofies dudes out here.
Hey, look like Donald Trump increased his black representation 13%, huh? 12%.
Let's see what we looking at. Well, yeah, 12%.
Ain't that an increase, right?
Is it? Yeah, is it?
Is it? I don't know. I thought it was a percent higher. I thought it was like 13 or 14, like in the teens, but higher last time.
Yeah. I think Hillary only got like 85, 86. So it's a slight difference. It's really the same. Shout out to niggas for being consistent. Like, shout out for niggas being consistent. Like, cause it was really like it was probably like 13 to 86%. So now it's 12 to 87%. So at least that 1% of niggas was like, you know what? You're not putting up with that shit. For the Hispanic Latino community, you sitting at 32 to 65.
Joe Biden live right now, by the way. If y'all care, if y'all, we won't be offended if y'all put an ear over there, but he is live talking about.
Actually, it would be, Toya. Hey. If y'all left us to go talk to Sleepy Joe, or listen to Sleepy Joe, you know what I'm saying? I'll take offense to it. Goddamn it.
That's why I gotta think when you call us a talking head, you like, we're kind of talking heads. I ain't no talking head, nigga. My name is Toya Green. I started a little podcast a couple years ago, invited my niggas to be on it, and we talking our shit. I am not a talking head about no politics.
Not no talking head, shouting.
Nah, George is definitely a talking head.
Yeah,
talking head, shouting.
We look at the Asian community, 31-63. And then when you in the others, I'm not sure who fits in that other category. Maybe French Polynesians or Samoan. Who knows? Who knows who they put in that other? I mean, but the one thing that you see is that it's clearly with all minority groups, it clearly sways one way.
Yeah, Ryan pointed out that 32% Hispanic vote is just pain. How can you justify voting Trump as a member of the Latinx community? I know going down to the wire, the Latinx community started getting a whole lot more attention in terms of their influence on the campaign. Places like Florida are always interesting places because you have a huge Cuban population, individuals who are not fans of socialism. So all you had to do was say the S word at them one time and they was out of there. And then, people who are after really care a whole lot about the economy. They ain't playing no games with no socialism. And so you got that mixed with a lot of people just kind of confused and contrived about, Trump and his policies and a lot of the rhetoric that he has. A lot of people, what George say, lost in the sauce. But more than not, you just see an unsettled group of people who don't really have any say in problematic, low-key, high-key problematic in terms of things like deportations. So it's a lack of trust there. And then, of course, you have the Despacito incident where the nigga played Despacito at a rally to campaign to Hispanic people or Latinx people, and it got worse from there. So the boy doing bad. The boy.
All right, if we take a quick glance at the ages, so far we got 18 to 29 year olds who are making up 17% of the vote, leaning heavily towards Joe Biden. 30 to 44 year olds, again, heavily more lean, well, not as heavy, but definitely an advantage towards Biden. You don't really start getting into the Trump advantage till you get to the old folks. Now, 45 to 64, you still see that Biden advantage. But once you hit 65 and over, which is 21% of the vote, 50 to 48. 50 to 48. So, I mean, any surprises? Are y'all surprised by any of these numbers?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. Without a doubt.
I'm surprised that the people.
Contradiction.
You said what?
I didn't mean to cut you off, Toya.
No, what did you say, George?
I said I'm not surprised by these numbers, but I do think that Trump being higher with the older people and seeing how drain the swamp, and it's basically like for older white people, Trump is their Obama. Like Trump is bringing the change they want. You know what I'm saying? It's just like ironic that, you feel me, they won't change, and we see how they changed a lot of the same old things and making them make it great again and going back to the past. So it's just funny. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, how it's like they want something that's new, and it's like, but look at the policies and the values and the morals.
Alex said French Polynesia is not in the United States. I know.
Foolish.
I know. I was just trying to figure what's the other. You know what I'm saying? What's the other? College education. When we look at college education, college graduates, I guess we'll say that there's definitely a favor towards Joe Biden, unless you go to the University of Oklahoma, that I'm sure you it's a lot of Trump's. Right, or UT, right, or Bama, Georgia. We know how they move. And then when you go to no college degree, I think no college degree is interesting. 50-50, 49-49. 49-49. Let's see. Tisha dropped out. Now she was on her phone, so she may be just doing something on her phone real quick. Let's see if she back. I mean, we ain't gonna be here too much longer. Like we said, we're not gonna get the results tonight. We kind of just wanted to keep y'all company as we get into the night. I'm on the there she go. I'm on the West Coast. So for Toya and I, it's a lot earlier. Y'all hold it down just a second.
Okay.
I ain't gonna repeat your comment again because I believe in karma, but I agree. I feel you. I say that about old people and then start missing my mama, so I'm gonna be slow with being like but it's true. A lot of old people in power. I'm being facetious, but we look at a lot of systems. We got to stop giving them people the light. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop giving them politicians to fall in love with. And that means a lot of these, like Mitch McConnell, move the hell out the way. Lindsey Graham, move the hell out of the way. A lot of them need to go ahead and slide. Shit, Nancy Pelosi need to get her ass out the way.
Out the way.
And go and stop taking up space so that people can really start having conversations about shit that moves people forward. But that's why, I mean, one thing that I have never had a good solid response to is why a lot of these legislators and senators don't have term maximums. I just don't get why you get to be in the same job and do the same job for 40 years. I think you should go start writing books or get back into the public sector or go into the private sector or go teach at a university or do some shit to spread the knowledge about the experience you have. But you don't get to just clog up space for decades on decades on decades and be a career politician in that way. I think at the very least, you need to sit out for 8 years. Let a whole political cycle, maybe 2, go through a whole president or 2, roll through, and then you get another chance to maybe refine your perspectives from the outside and come back in and do something. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a politician that way. But I just really hate the fact that a whole lot of old people get to take up space and then give, in these situations, old people more terrible ass options to go with that remind them of the days of old. And so that shit is just kind of whack to me.
Or they give unqualified people like ACB positions. You feel me? To keep their old legacy going. Like,
yeah. Let's not get it twisted. They definitely will cling on to any young hot thing that represents the old institution.
But the old gatekeeper, the old gatekeeping represent the old guard.
Alteron said, "Will we ever have a young president like 38?"
Like a Kennedy. I think Obama was the youngest one.
Yeah, I think Kennedy and Obama was the youngest ones, and so outside of that, you know, it's really gonna be rough to kind of see them going. But I mean, we would hope that, you know, they start to dig back a little bit further and pick some younger people, because this shit is wild. I mean, and think about it. We got 74 and 78. If Biden wins, he'll be 78. If Trump wins, he's 74. And so you're putting me two old white dudes.
Yeah, to keep it a buck, they just gonna die off. It's just I mean, the average age of Congress is like 67. That's just the reality of it. Because when you got lifetime term limits, or not lifetime term limits, but no term limits. I mean, that's the one thing that Ted Cruz, anybody who knows politics knows that Ted Cruz is one of the most hated people in Congress. But that, when he was talking about introducing term limits into Congress, the fact that shit didn't pass, I thought that was suspect as fuck. I do want to point out that anybody that's keeping up with Trump's tweets, what I've caught up with real quick is that, first, with 56% in, Biden is losing Michigan. Which, you know, again, that's one of them that's one of them states where they're gonna rely heavily on mail-in voting, because they are only 56% in. But Donald Trump is already kind of laying down the framework to say that they're trying to steal the election. He's already tweeted blatantly saying that they're trying to steal the election. Mm-hmm. And he's saying he's pointing out that you can't vote after the polls close, as if people are actually trying to vote after the polls close. So without a doubt, you already know how he was going to try to move.
It shades of interpretation of what he means after the polls close, because everybody knows in most, if not all, of the places where polls are open, if you are in line while a poll is already taking place, you can vote. They have to let you vote. And so him saying that is either him lying and misrepresenting the policy on that particular policy, or he is being intentionally vague about that shit because there's no ground to the claim that he's trying to make. There's no warrant to it, and he's just saying shit to stir up. Also, we got to point out, I think White Wendy Williams made sure we knew that he spelled polls P-O-L-E-S instead of P-O-L-L. So he don't even know how to spell these polls that his name is all up in, that he's participating.
That he's a part
now. Right. It's really kind of sad. We're talking a lot about AOC. I think we definitely should spend specific time on AOC. The reason why I like her, but I don't think she's going to be president, especially not in the next 8 years, is that we see that the Democratic Party and the Democratic establishment clings to moderates and to moderacy, and they haven't taken any leaps or any moves to make it seem like they're on a path to AOC. They're on a path to the police, which is Kamala Harris, much more quickly and much sooner than they would be on the path to AOC's old radical ass. So we love her. We like her. I'm happy she got reelected. She's back in the business and won her seat back again. But I don't think AOC is coming for a long ass time. She's a little bit too hot and heavy for what even Democrats.
Yeah, especially when we talk about, like, you know, president type shit. Like, yeah, it's. I mean, I rock with AOC. I think she is a good reflection of more so like the change in the times. But ultimately, it's just a question of overcoming what you call the establishment. Like, when you still got people like Nancy Pelosi, who even with the squad, as they call them, being a lot younger than the average age of somebody in Congress, the leader of the House, or the minority leader of or the minority speaker of the House is still Nancy Pelosi. So until we able to overcome kind of like the old guard, and that's why I say like fuck party, right? Like it's the old guard, regardless of who it is, Democrat or Republican, that's getting in the way of more shit actually moving. So until we able to overcome that, like all like what they be on really is some other shit.
And that's also not to mention the latent sexism that exists in these systems that we still have women trying to overcome. And to get over those barriers. It's a lot of, she's a Latina woman. Like, it's just a whole lot of compounded things that will make her attempt to rise really kind of difficult. One to see. Christopher, though, says Harris and Ocasio-Cortez 2024. I think that's the quickest way to lose a ticket in this country. But I like it in my imagination.
She said the quickest way to lose the ticket.
I think
right.
That up and spit that out so fucking fast, I would be sad.
So much of white America that ran into the Republican Party, like who? What? They be talking about socialism and communism, the entire campaign.
And not to just, I wouldn't even be able to take the terrible ass conservative commentary, the political cartoons, the disrespect. It would be nauseating. Michelle Obama to do nothing but marry a nigga that wanted to be president. She got ran through the mud. You think they finna let this brown and black woman live their lives? Hell no.
Yeah, they need to be attached to a white woman to get that to crack for real.
Yeah, no, it's not. Not a way. The question is, which white woman? Because they all come with a little baggage these days.
I think what's her name? Elizabeth Warren ain't going nowhere.
Oh yeah, she be around.
Ain't going nowhere. Yeah,
she be around.
It will be interesting. I'm trying to think. Is it anything?
Hey, there's something right here. I'm looking at right here though. Looking at this Fox News. So Fox News right now has it still at 237, 210. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden is up. I know that Joe Biden needs a little less than 40 votes to win. And looking at this map, it seems like Trump gonna get this, like gonna win this thing.
Well, hold on. When you say looking at, so you got to understand though, when it comes to, it's not just the amount of states, it's how many delegates they got, how many electoral votes they have.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean,
so that is right now is the only state that that I guess maybe is up that maybe Biden can win is like Alaska. But shit, right now, Georgia about to be red. North Carolina like it's about to be red. Pennsylvania like it's about to be red.
But we'll see. That's what I'm saying. When you say about to be, it's only going based off, like, for example, Pennsylvania is only 64% reported, right? Michigan, Wisconsin is 78%, and Michigan is 55%.
I ain't looking at the
So even though the tent is like, for example, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are more so more so leaning red, right? Because Donald Trump has a slight lead. But those three states specifically said you will not have results tonight because there's so many more votes that they got to bring in. And so ultimately, Donald Trump having a lead as he has it now is going to work against him the same way Biden having a lead in Florida worked against him. Because when you get to the places where you start to see a large influx of votes that hadn't been counted, like mail-in votes, all of that type of shit, those are we know without a doubt those are going to lean heavily towards Joe Biden. So what'd you say?
Keep going.
Oh yeah. So looking at it now, it's like, yeah, Biden or Trump has a lead in particular places, but like Texas, for example, 81% reporting, 52 to 46. You could give him Texas, you can give him Georgia. North Carolina. Let me see. We got to look at North Carolina and see where they still waiting on. Where they still waiting.
I mean, he in North Carolina, it's 94% of reporting in, and Trump is up by 100,000 votes, a little over 100,000, or a little less than 100,000 votes.
Right now, those mail-in, but so the reason why they still holding out on places like North Carolina, because the question is, I mean, what's up with all those votes that haven't been counted yet? I'm trying to see how many they got left. That's the only thing about Google. Google don't show the whole point where they got how many they got left.
But
But
I guess the part where looking at Fox News is how we bad then is like shit. So far, they projections of the states been pretty spot on. It's like shit. Ain't no more states for Joe Biden to really be winning.
well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. It's not a question of
Michigan, but that's just 16 votes. That's just 16 electoral votes. He need like 30 something. He need 33. That's 16. And those are the only two states. Or in Pennsylvania, you said in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he apparently in his interview that he gave or his statement that he made, he said he feel like he gonna win Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pennsylvania is one of the states where like
Oh yeah, he need Pennsylvania. If he don't get Pennsylvania,
even,
he out of there.
but that's what I'm saying. It's still too early right now, even for them states,
Yeah.
because you can't. The issue is with the heavily rural states. You can't rely on them because they have such lower population numbers. So it's easier to get them votes in. You end up getting them votes in a lot quicker. The more heavily dense cities and population areas, it take a lot more to get those votes because you got so many more people voting. So you would look at a whole county and be like, oh damn, like all of these counties went to Trump. Well, that would only be like a fraction of, for example, Milwaukee, like the county that Milwaukee's in, or for example, Pennsylvania. So when you're dealing with Philadelphia and those type of places, the surrounding areas, those populations are just a fraction. We gotta. Oh, Alaska, yeah, they still. I don't know. That's still too early to call. So yeah, I mean, it's really when we wake up in the morning, what it's gonna be looking like is more so the question.
Okay, Kelly, I'm just saying too because I see that Michigan only has still 61% of their reporting. I see that Pennsylvania still only got 64. I see Wisconsin though got that 84% though still, but though, but though Trump is only up by, you know what I'm saying, a little over 100,000 votes. So
and that's what I'm saying. 100,000 lead could look like a loss real quick. That's what I'm saying. Biden was looking like with in Florida earlier on. Biden was sitting at like 2/3 at 2/3 of the vote. Biden had like a 10-point lead. That nigga's not losing, not winning Florida. You know what I'm saying? And that was with him winning like pretty handily at 2/3 of the vote being reported. You know what I'm saying? So what NBC still saying 205, 171. What Google saying? What Google talking about? Google still looking at North Carolina. Hold on. Let me see. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know why we taking George serious with this motherfucking Fox News. 223 to 173 or 174.
And my numbers is lower than all y'all's. I don't have anybody over the 200 threshold coming from
It was 237 to 213.
From CBS, they got 187, 171. So it's close, but nobody's even flirting with the twos yet. They not calling none of them. Well, I'm gonna show y'all. Let me see if I can show y'all what the map on CBS is looking like from my TV. See if y'all can see that. So let me get a little closer.
187 and oh yeah. Are they're being very conservative.
Y'all see that map they showing?
Yeah.
Right, yellow it is.
It's a lot of yellow still left.
States kind of in speculation or ones that they don't feel like this is resolved is maybe what y'all watching it is.
Pooh Bear React said 223 to 174. I do got one of my OGs in the building, Kansu. Shout out to Kansu Sheshmu Amun. You know what I'm saying? He in here. Yeah, shout out to Solar Vision Debate League, man. If y'all don't know,
good night.
Niggas be getting it in terms of, you know, these debates on YouTube. So shout out to Solar Vision Debate League. We in here. Morgan Freeman said, because I feel like Biden will be too old to run. What he said? What's up with the ageism, man? And if Trump wins, he can't run again. So who's next? That's a good question. That's something to get into. But I mean, shit, we didn't been on here for damn near 2 hours at this point.
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
So I mean, y'all. I mean, before we close it out, Tisha, do you want to give the people any words of wisdom, to prepare themselves because they got to go to sleep tonight? We ain't gonna know nothing tonight. You know how people start getting anxious and getting and getting anxiety and all that other shit. So they can't sleep and they got shit to do in the morning and, you know, all that other shit. Also, George, Susan Collins is in the lead with 41% reporting with Maine, 187 to 140. So yeah, so we're gonna figure that out. But Tisha, in terms of when you dealing with anxiety, now she is a life coach, by the way. She is a life coach. She does, I mean, what I'm saying, wear many hats. And so in terms of the anxiety that people dealing with when they have to lay their head down, not knowing what America gonna look like. And I told you, goofies, it wasn't about to be no civil war. Anyway, uh
Oh,
what's
man.
your like? How do you what like? And when you got shit on your heart, you know what I'm saying. You got a lot you dealing with. What do you tell the people in order to calm that, to take their ass to sleep and to go on to the next day?
To get them to the next day. Literally for me, I just shut off all the noise. I meditate, get my mind together, keep myself busy on other things. Obviously we can't, force it or push anything further past what's going on tonight. So we have to wait no matter what. So keep yourself busy, do something in the meantime to get your mind off of it. Don't ponder on it too much. Meditate, get your mind right, get your mind together, and get some sleep. Go to sleep, rest. Do things that you love to do. You're gonna have to wait anyway, no matter what.
So live your fucking life. That's what it is. So shout out to Tisha, man. Like over 30 podcasts, we getting it in. We were supposed to do natal charts today, but then this shit popped up. But she does read natal charts, and she hella fucking dope. Matter of
I
fact,
absolutely, absolutely.
Toya and myself are definitely witness to how she can break some shit down in ways that she ain't supposed to really be able to break down like that, because it makes you feel uncomfortable, because you like, how do you know me like this? You know what I'm saying? But the next, as soon as we get our next episode in, we're gonna be breaking down these natal charts, getting your shit read, and she does it professionally. What's Infinite Omniscience? Go ahead, give them the go ahead, plug the joint, the Instagram.
I'm Infinite Omniscient on Instagram. Also Infinite Stars Holistic Healing Instagram, and Infinite Stars Holistic Healing on all social media platforms. Hit me up on there. I do anything, natal readings, numerology readings. I'm a life coach, so spiritual life coach. So yeah, do it all. Do it all. Over 30 podcasts where we do the natal readings at.
Yeah. So we're gonna be getting it in this next Tuesday coming up. Also, we got the chop up this next Monday coming up in a week, because it is Tuesday, so it is some time. But y'all also make sure y'all subscribe to the channel at the Chop Up Show on YouTube, at the Over 30 Podcast on YouTube, at the Consciously on YouTube. Toya, George, go ahead and speak to the big Journey. Journey didn't
Hey
join
man,
us.
something big y'all just seen come through was that Mississippi actually just voted to change their state flag. So
Wow.
Confederate flag that was a part of they, you know what I'm saying? They finally changed. They after I think what they said 137 years.
That's big. That's big.
take
I
that
mean,
look.
hey, every little thing
122
counts.
years.
Every little thing counts. So if y'all did not know, Mississippi will be changing that racist ass flag. Ain't that some shit?
Ain't it?
That look, and it's like this is the small shit that comes with having to deal with Donald Trump for 4 years. Even Mississippi is like, damn, we can't be that racist.
Yeah, we gotta.
Like,
Yeah.
It's old school. Gotta move into the 2020s now.
you know what
Hey,
I'm
we
saying?
do. It's shit. Hour 57 minutes into the situation. I'm gonna say my part in words so we can go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's been a hell of a night. Including the fact that Melvin just reported that Trump won Texas based on the AP. So, whoop, there it is. Christopher says
Yep,
about
Texas has been called.
they still
Texas has
voted
been
for Trump,
called.
so they can't get two things that match: ham, no burger, peanut butter, no
No
jelly, no
jelly.
aid, nigga. It's really a situation right now. But I got love for y'all. I hope y'all down there loving on people who love on y'all back. I hope y'all down here keeping yourself straight. Like Tisha said, just really focusing on what matters. Y'all rocking with us meant a whole lot to us because, like we said, we didn't really know what to expect. If you like the conversation, if you like being able to participate, if you enjoy jumping in and rocking with us, subscribe now. Wherever you at, go ahead and just follow the page on YouTube, on Facebook. Go ahead and subscribe so you can stay locked in. We live with the show every Monday night. Damo said that we don't want y'all to miss out. But it's big love to y'all. Biden is up 223. Trump is on the come up at 212, and these numbers is rocking and rolling. So we got to make sure we keeping a look first thing in the morning, but don't live and die by these results. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bottom line of it is, even when we do find out an official word, you can't stop your whole life after you figure out who won or who lost. You got to keep controlling what you can't control. That's my biggest message for you. I started off like that. That's how I'm ending it. Control what you can control. This shit was is kind of out of our hands at this point.
Out of our hands, man.
Yeah, man. So MSNBC got it sitting at 209, 205. Trump just took an electoral lead, 209 to 205. And my parting words, man, it's always been out of our hands. It's always been out of our hands, man. Like, a lot of this that we talk about, I mean, even I tell you, like, this is like my ESPN. This shit really, you know, it ain't much you can do. You can really just kind of watch it play out. You can get involved where you can. But as I always say, the voting process, the voting step is literally the last step in the process. Ultimately, everything that we're doing as people, we need to be, it definitely needs to be geared towards like what we do on the day-to-day basis in terms of what our communities look like. Who are you supporting before they tell you on TV who you support? You know what I mean? Like, what do your leaders look like? Who do you want your leadership to look like? Who do you know? You know what I mean? And this, as much as we talk about Trump and Biden, your school board, your city council, your district attorney, all of these things, your sheriff, all of these things have an impact on who you are. Don't get caught up in the in Trump Biden shit. I mean, that's the political theater. That is what's entertaining. That's how we got y'all in here. That's how we get the views. But ultimately, what really impact your life is what happened in your fucking community. So remember that shit. And again, at the Chop Up Show on Facebook, at the Chop Up Show on YouTube, at the Chop Up Show on Instagram, at the Political Plug on Instagram, at the Political Plug on Facebook and YouTube. I don't really be on the YouTube like that. Make sure y'all check out Solar Vision Debate League, at the Conscious League on YouTube and on Instagram, at Toya G, at Infinite Omniscience.
Yeah, Infinite Omniscience. I want to make sure we drop that IG because there's a couple people interested in the astrology tip, interested in getting a read, interested in all of that. So I want to make sure it's clear. Infinite Omniscience. That's one of them special words. I need to, ask Siri, how do you spell omniscience? So you spell correctly. You know what I'm saying? But go find her so you get connected. Go ahead and drop the spell, Tisha, if you want to go ahead and make it clear.
Yeah, because you got to put it in your, what's the name? Put it as your, what's the name?
Infinite Omniscient on Instagram. So put it as my thing.
Oh yeah, you're on your phone. Never mind. Just go ahead and spell it for him.
Omniscient. Omniscient. It means all knowing.
Omniscient.
Like omniscient. So yeah, it's
Yo, and like I said, next Tuesday we will be reading natal charts. You know what I'm saying? This is at the Over 30 podcast. We will be reading natal charts. So if you want to test out her skills, like I'm telling you, she had me and Toya in it, like sitting back, like, what are you doing? You don't know me. Like,
mind your business. Let's get off the camera with all of this exposing, letting people, because then Damo was like, I knew it. I've been knowing her all and I hate that shit.
George is supposed to be getting his next week too. George's supposed to be getting his. He was supposed to get his this week, but we got to deal with this shit. But George's supposed to be getting his next week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When's
George's gonna show up
December 9th.
Hey, shout out to Mackenzie. He said for all you visual learners, she got it spelled out there for y'all. For all you visual learners. But yeah, hey, it's been real.
Thank you.
Glad y'all should be. We've officially hit the 202 mark. I think this is a marathon for the Chop Up Show. This is a record.
On y'all ass, but yeah, man. Listen, all I know is the politics happen at the local level. I know a lot of us is lost in the sauce of this national sensationalizing of this presidential election. But just know, man, checks and balances is real and shit. It don't matter who in office, you know what I'm saying? It matters like the whole system, who gets to run the whole entire system, the executive branch, legislative branch, judicial branch, all that thing, like literally high school government, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, holla at y'all. Make sure y'all get y'all natal chart read by the Over 30 podcast, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna tap in with y'all. Education is elevation. I'm tired of shit. I get some rest.
Hey, we love y'all. It's been a Chop Up.
Yeah, it's a Chop Up, man. Y'all be easy.
We out this time.